As you all said, bioinformatics is a mixture of computer science and mathematics, that is statistics. Yeah, you all are right. Whoever have answered this thing. Bioinformatics is a use of computers for the acquisition, management, and analysis of biological information. We are going to acquisite it, manage the data, the large data which we are going to get after human genome project, which I'm going to explain later. Because of that, the computer have had to play a major role into biological field. So it was a mixture of informatics and computer science knowledge and the biology. So the name came bioinformatics. Bioinformatics is a field of science where biology, computer science and information technology merge with each other to form single discipline. I hope you are understanding what I am talking about. Just a simple yes. Yes, yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bioinformatics is a science of managing and analysis of biological data using computer techniques or computing techniques. Computer bioinformatics developed a new thought to maintain the concepts and store the biological data into some databases or some storage container or something which we require to store the biological information into. Bioinformatics is a concept and a method are different from the biological concepts and methods. Yeah, in biology, in bioinformatics, we are talking about information technology, computer science, and biology. But in biology, as a single discipline, we are going to talk only about the pathways and the all requirements that are placed in human body. Am I right? Bioinformatics are logical and technical means by which not only solve biological problems but also can predict new aspects. Yeah, bioinformatics uses logic and technicals. Bioinformatics uses logical information as well as technical information to solve, rectify, and to upbring the new aspects that are placed into the human body or plants or animals. Bioinformatics is surrounded by all these fields, that is genomics, proteomics, statistics, database management system, systemic biology, chemoinformatics, computational biology, and computational language, that is computer language, where we get C++, Perl, BioPerl, BioJava, Python, BioPython. And why bioinformatics is necessary. The needs of bioinformatics. Why we came with bioinformatics as a separate discipline or a single discipline. The need of bioinformatics has given rise from recent explosion of publicly available genomic information such as Human Genome Project. Right now, as I spoke about, gain a better understanding of gene analysis, taxonomy, and evolution. If we have to gain a better knowledge in understanding these gene analysis, taxonomy, and evolution, we have to study using some of the other disciplines. So here bioinformatics mingles all these datas into one and gives you a correct, appropriate answers with a well-defined manner. So you guys are not able to, yes, PPT is visible. Okay, okay, thank you. PPT is visible. Okay. I think PPT is visible now. Yes, yes. Okay, okay, thank you. To work efficiently, rational drug designing and reduce the time for the development of drug, the bioinformatics plays a very important role in designing a drug and to see whether the ligand and the receptor act with each other or they repel each other. So consider that you are a doctor. Here comes a patient. If by seeing her, do you recognize what condition she is suffering from? Or will you predict what disease she is having? Yeah, I'm doing it. Anushri, I will take them inside. Are you able to see? Scroll down and click on speaker second account and pin it. Okay, thank you, Anushri. Consider yourself as a doctor and some patient comes near you. And are you able to describe her disease or what she's suffering from? Yes, please answer. Will you be able to describe to from looking at her, will you be able to say that she is suffering from this disease? No. Right. So to understand what she is suffering from, first we have to know about her disease, what she is suffering from, whether she is suffering from hereditary disorder or genetic disorder, or she is suffering from fever, cold, any of the symptoms. We have to first diagnose her, right? Am I right? Yes, we can guess, but sometimes we may get wrong. As a doctor, we should not guess, we should treat her with correct diagnosis. We have to check if she is suffering from fever. We'll touch her body, we'll see whether her temperature is high or low, right? If she is suffering from fever. Am I right? No, man. Abhishek, touch in this pandemic, no, no. But usually doctors sees whether the temperature is high or low by checking or by using thermometer, right? Okay. First we have to ask him or her certain random questions like, do you have a throat pain, or is your head is paining? Yeah, it's okay. For interaction, you can make funny in this class, but it's your class only. You can make funny. Or she is suffering from cold, etc. Random questions we are going to ask her, and we are going to diagnose her. Then only we are going to get what she is suffering from, right? Only Y for S and no for N. Just yes or no. Are you getting what I am saying? Okay, thank you. Then only you will get to know what she is suffering from. So now let's dive in and study uh, how this bioinformatics came into existence, what all they made it, how all it came into existence. Then here came a computer man. Doctor and the computer man had a talk with each other, and the doctor said, if we want to know what kind of the disease a person is uh, suffering from, if it is hereditary or genetic, we have to diagnose her from the genomic level. And if we are going to check it from the genomic level, I'll have so much big amount of data with me. So how I'm going to check it out? So the computer man says, if you want to store some data, I'll help you. How he is going to help? Yes, quick answer. How is going to help? By building what? He's going to build? Yes, by developing different databases, by building databases. Store all the data into the storage database. Yes, right. You are correct. Exactly right. He's going to build up the databases and give it to scientists or doctors. How this came into emergence? US government project coordinated by the Department of Energy and the National Institute of Health NIH, launched in 1986 by Carlos de Lisi. And I think you all are knowing the definition of genome. Am I right? Yep. Okay. If you are knowing, just tell me. The definition of genome. I want answer from everyone. Please. It's the DNA content. Yes. Whole sequence of an organism. Yes. The information needed to build and maintain that organism. Yes. Complete set of genes in a cell. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. You all are right. You all are correct. The aim of this project was to identify approximately 100,000 genes in the human DNA. Next point was to determine the sequence of 3 billion bases that are present that make up human DNA. To store this information into databases, develop tools for data analysis, and to address ethical, legal, and social issues that are going to arise when the genome research is continued. So the benefits of human genome research were improvement of medicine and drug. Yes, as right now I said, by doing, okay, thank you. As right now I said, for here computer science, computer informatics person is going to help us for doing this human genome project in designing a drug if the patient is suffering from genetic or metabolic disorder or hereditary disorder. At that time we can diagnose the person with very effective and um, very effectively, and this and when giving the drug, the particular amount of drug can be given, and so that the disease which has caused during can get reduced. Microbial genome research for biofuel and environmental cleanup. It helps in microbial genome research for biofuels and environmental cleanup. It helps in DNA fingerprinting and forensics. It also helps in improvement of new crops which gave a high yielding variety, and in livestock, better understanding of species evolution and human genome, and it gives high more accurate risk assessment by gene mapping. Are you understanding? Yeah, okay. Then the history and scope of bioinformatics. In 1879, the On the Origin of Species book published by Charles Darwin, the introductory theory of genetic evolution allows adaptation over time to produce organisms best suited to the environment. So this is just a historical background of how bioinformatics came into existence. The first scientist, uh, Charles Darwin, who showed who had published his book on the origin of species, which talked on theory of genetic evolution, which allows adoption over time to produce organisms best suited to the environment. This says that the adaptation by the human being or the animals that are being taken place time to time are talked in this book by Charles Darwin in 1959. Then in 1869, the DNA from nuclei of white blood cells were first isolated by Friedrich Mischer. WBC was first isolated by Friedrich Mischer in 1869. Then in 1951, Linus Pauling and Corroy proposed the structure of alpha helix and beta sheets that are present in the protein structure. In protein, where are these structures present? In protein, this alpha helix and beta sheets are present in which structure of protein? Yes, secondary structure of protein. These are present. It was first proposed or studied by Linus Pauling and Corroy. Then Watson and Crick proposed double helix model of DNA based on X-ray data obtained by Franklin and Wilkins in 1953. Then in 1955, the sequence of protein to be analyzed was analyzed in bovine insulin by F. Sanger in 1955. Then in 1958, the Advanced Research Agency, that is ARPA, is formed in USA. 1973, the Brookhaven Protein Data Bank, which is called PDB, Protein Data Bank, is announced in 1973. Then in 1987, Perl, Practical Extraction Report Language, was released by Larry Wall. Anyone of you tell me in which year NCBI was established? Yes, 1988. Okay. What do NIH stands for? Yeah, I'm adding. Abhishek. I'm doing it. National Institute of Health. Okay. Then what NLM stands for? National Library of Medicine. Yes, you are right. You all are right. It stands for National Library of Medicine. Then in 1990, Human Genome Project launched BLAST. BLAST stands for, this is very easy, and this is used all the time in bioinformatics. Basic local alignment search tool. Yes, you are right. Shushmita. HGP launched BLAST program introduced by S. Carlin and S.F. Altush. Tim Berners-Lee, a British scientist, invented the World Wide Web (WWW) in 1990. WWW was invented in 1990 by British scientists. Then in 1992, TIGER, that is National Institute of Genome Research, associated with PALMS to exploit sequencing commercially through the gene identification and drug discovery, was formed. Then the Human Genome Project, HGP, which was a reason for the invention of new era, that is bioinformatics, was published in 2001. Okay, Abhishek, done. You have one doubt and one compliment. Okay, I'm waiting for it. New era bioinformatics came into existence. That is a combination of mathematics, computer science, information technology, and biology. I have one general question to all. Have you ever imagined that a biology can be led with computer scientists and what is that? Information technology or mathematicians? Okay, yes, yes, yes. Okay. You had idea. Okay. Okay. Let's see computational part. What computational part or computer science is doing with bioinformatics. The computational part of bioinformatics used to optimize the biological problems like metabolic disorder, genetic disorders. Yes, it is going to optimize the biological problems which are associated with biological information and computer holes within it for the storage, which helps for the storing of metabolic disorder and genetic disorder genes. Computational part contains a computer linked with databases, software and tools application and operating systems. It may be Windows, XP, Linux or Unix. And software tools. And the mathematical part of bioinformatics. The mathematical portion helps to understand the algorithms used in bioinformatics software and tools. Algorithms are basically in mathematics, but algorithms are connected with C++, Java, and Pythons, where we are going to associate with loops, arrays, strings, which are going to help us to build a strong and understandable databases. The mathematical portion which are used in bioinformatics are matrices, biostatistics, complex mathematical functions, Fourier transformation, that is, and differentiation or integration. Matrices helps in sequence alignment, BLAST, FASTA, MSA, and phylogenetic prediction. Biostatistics, where we are going to deal with HMM, that is hidden Markov's model, and ANN in secondary structure prediction. Then complex mathematics function, that is Fourier transformation, and differentiation or integration, time and space complexity, e-value, which we are going to get in BLAST or other MSA, and the prediction of phylogenetic tree is also done on e-value and the p-value in BLAST. Then the components of bioinformatics. Any doubt? Yeah, Sanjay, you will get the PPT after the webinar is complete. Okay, thank you. Then the components of bioinformatics. The first component of bioinformatics is creation of databases. Involves the organizing, storage and management of biological data sets. As you all know that databases helps us to store the data. Here in bioinformatics it helps to organize, storage and management of biological data. Databases are accessible and submit new entries. Through this, we can submit new entries and we can access it at any time we want it back. Protein sequence data bank for molecular structure. We have nucleotide data bank as well as protein sequence data bank as separate structures. Then the second thing is development of algorithms and statistics. Involves the development of tools and resources to determine the relationship among the members of larger data sets. Involves the development of tools. Here, algorithm and statistics help us to determine the relationship among the members and the large data sets, which tells us that this data is connected with so and so data set. It helps us in this functioning. And comparison of protein sequence data with already existing protein sequence. It also gives connection of the when we are going to compare two datas which where one is known and one and the other is unknown. At that time, these algorithms and statistics help us. Then the third is analysis of data interpretation. This includes DNA, RNA and protein sequence. Protein sequence, structure, gene expression, profiles and biochemical. It helps to interpret data when we are going to deal with the DNA, RNA and protein structures, sequences and expressions. It even helps us during biological pathway analysis. Primer design tool will be done in the later session, dear. If you teach with visibility. Is the PPT visible? Okay, thank you, Anushri. Abhishek, no, it's not. It's visible. Some are visible and some are not. What's going on? Wait. I'll check it out. Now? Okay, thank you. The types of biological databases that we can access today and future are, we have three types of databases that are primary, secondary and composite. The primary database are EMBL. Now you are going to tell me about EMBL. Long form of EMBL. Long form of EMBL. Yes, you are right. Shushmita, Abhinav, Pranav, Sangeeta, you are correct. The EMBL nucleotide sequence database. It is a nucleotide sequence database established in 1974. It consists of European primary nucleotide sequence resources. The main source, it is a main source for DNA and RNA sequence, where DNA and RNA sequence are direct submission for individual researcher. Here the individual researcher is going to directly submit and the genome sequencing project and patent are applicable here. In this EMBL application, if you are going to do a research, you can submit your data into this. Sorry, in EMBL you are going to submit the data directly, and um, if you are individual research, you are going to sequence the genome, and you can apply for patents also. The database is produced by international collaboration, which is collaborated with Gene Bank and DDBJ. Again, your turn. What is DDBJ? Of DDBJ. Wow. Kiruba. DDBJ is DNA Data Bank of Japan, PIR, protein sequence and structure. You are right. You guys are extraordinary. Then the Gene Bank, which was invented in 1982, which is associated with NIH Genetic Sequence Database and an annotated collection of all publicly available DNA sequences. And the DDBJ, which came into existence in 1986, began where DDBJ stands for DNA Data Bank of Japan, began DNA data bank activities in earliest in 1986 at the National Institute of Genetics with the endorsement of Ministry of Education, Science, Sports and Culture. This was endorsed, and it was supported by the Ministry of Education, Science, Sports and Culture. It's not support, it's sports. I'm sorry. And this is a Center for Information Biology at NIG, was recognized at the center as the Center for Information Biology, which later been called as CIBDDBJ in 2001. The new center plays major role in carrying out research in information biology and to run DDBJ operation all over the world. Are you guys able to hear me? Am I audible? Okay, thank you. Trisha, TREMBL. Okay. Translated European Molecular Biology Laboratory. Yeah, you are right. Then the Swiss Sport. Swissport is a protein sequence database which was created at the Department of Medical Biochemistry at the University of Geneva and has been a collaborative effect of the department and the European EMBL, European Molecular Biology Laboratory, in 1987. It came into existence during 1987 and it was collaborated with department with the department of EMBL, and it is situated in University of Geneva and it was created by Department of Medical Biochemistry. Now it is in partnership with EMBL, where we call it Swiss Institute of Bioinformatics, SIB. The EMBL activities are carried out by its Hickston outstation the Bioinformatics Institute, where the EMBL is in EMBL. The Swiss port is also carried out its Hickston outstation. That is a station name where EMBL is uh, EMBL carries its activity as EBI, that is European Bioinformatics Institute, where the bioinformatics is being carried out near Hickston's outstation. Then we have TREMBL. As someone said, no, Trisha, you said translated European Molecular Biology Laboratory. Yeah, you are right. It is also connected with Swiss EMBL. And one more port I forgot to tell about Swiss port. The Swiss port database distinguishes itself into three distinct data criteria. Those are annotation, minimal redundancy, and integration with other databases. TREMBL, which came into existence during 1996, that is translation of EMBL nucleotide sequence database. Trimble consists of computer annotated entries derived from the translation of all coding sequence. All coding sequence, that is CDs, in the EMBL database, except CDs coding sequence already included in Swissport. Except CDs. Swissport also have this database within it. Then the next is PIR. I want it from you guys. PIR stands for yes, quick. PIR stands for Protein Information Resource. Yes, you are right. सब लोग सो गए क्या? Feeling like that? I think so. Okay, thank you. Okay, PIR stands for Protein Information Resource, which was established in 1984 by the National Biomedical Research Foundation (NBRF) as a resource to assist in the identification and interpretation of protein sequence information. PIR was established in year. Reply fast. I want you from you. 1984. Yes, you are right. It was established by yes, Sanjay, you are right. NBRF. I consider you are listening so carefully. National Biomedical Research Foundation as a resource to assess the identification and interpretation of protein information. These are all the primary databases which consist of nucleotide as well as proteins. One from protein database you will name. Thank you for your active interaction in this class, in this webinar. PDB, yes. And from nucleic acid, NCBI, no, NCBI consists of both protein as well as nucleic acid. FASTA, no. I have here. FASTA takes both DNA as well as protein. BLAST, yeah, we have protein BLAST as nucleotide BLAST. We have both. GenBank, yes, you are right. क्यों बोर हो गया क्या क्लास? लोकेश कुमार वर्मा, मैम फीडबैक लिंक सेंड करो. Then the secondary databases. Is this class boring? Thank you. आपको फीडबैक लिंक एट द एंड मिलेगा, एट द एंड ऑफ दिस सेशन. Still 2-3 slides are there. Let me complete it. Then the secondary database consists of ProCite, which was established in 1988, PFAM 1995, blocks and prints. Let's study about ProCite. ProCite stands for Protein Database. It consists of protein database. It consists of entries describing protein families, domains, and functional sites, as well as amino acid patterns and profiles in them. It describes about protein families, domains, and functional sites that are present in protein, and as well as amino acid patterns and profiles which are present in amino acid are determined by ProCite. These are manually curated by a team of the Swiss Institute of Bioinformatics, SIB, which I told right now before 5 minutes, and tightly integrated into Swissport protein annotation. It was created by Amos Bairoch, who directed the group for more than 20 years. Then now the director of ProCite and Swissport is your turn. The director of ProCite and Swissport. Okay, no problem. I will tell. Feedback link after 10 minutes. The director of ProCite and Swissport is Alan Bridge. ProCite includes identification of possible functions of newly discovered proteins and analysis of known proteins for previously undetermined activity. Yes, I will share the PPT in the group. Then we have PFAM, which was invented in 1955. PFAM is a database. It is also a protein database which stands for protein family. That includes annotation and multiple sequence alignments generated using hidden Markov's model. The most recent version of PFAM is 33.1, PFAM 33.1, which was released in May 2020, and it contains 18,259 families of protein. Then we have composite database, which is a different form with different source of primary database itself. Here we have two databases, those are NRDB and OWL. Yes, you are right. PFAM is a database of curated protein family. Yes, I will share it in the group. Don't worry about the PPT. These are the three important databases, DDBJ, EMBL and GenBank, that are national sequence, international sequence database collaboration that came into existence during 1986, and it was a very important collaboration where if we are going to submit data into one, that is DDBJ, the data is circulated with EMBL and GenBank. If any one of the database you are, if you think you are going to submit your data into one of the database, then you go and check into EMBL or GenBank, you will get the same data in this three of them within 48 hours. The fields of bioinformatics, molecular medicine, uh, we can check the molecular medicine. Bioinformatics is used in molecular medicine interpretation and gene therapy, in diagnosing therapeutic gene. We can use bioinformatics in the development of drug and microbial genome applications. We can use bioinformatics for the improvement of crop forensic analysis of microbes. Biotechnology and bioinformatics come in hand, so biotechnology is a part of bioinformatics. Evolutionary studies and bioweapon creation, applications of these are some of the applications of bioinformatics: sequence mapping of biomolecules, DNA, RNA, and proteins, identification of nucleotide sequence of functional gene, finding of site that can be cut by restriction enzyme. Bioinformatics helps to find the site where the restriction enzyme is going to cut. Prediction of functional gene. Yes, bioinformatics helps to predict the functional genes that are present in genome. To trace the evolutionary tree of genes, yes, we can check the evolutionary tree from if we are going to check ourselves from which ancestor we are present today. This can be done using bioinformatics by using phylogenetic tree. For the prediction of three-dimensional structure of protein, yes, the three-dimensional structure of protein can be done using bioinformatics. Molecular modeling of biomolecules, designing of drug for medical treatment, handling of vast biological data which otherwise is not possible. Bioinformatics actually came into existence to handle biological data which is in a very vast this thing, to maintain it, this bioinformatics came into existence. If anyone wanna learn any topic related to tech, development of models for functioning various cells, tissues, and organs. Thank you. If you have any question, can ask. Raise your questions freely. In this, you have to be expertised in computers, mathematics, and biology. Yes, you can ask. You have two doubts. Ask. One is when you are explaining you us why your train stops after every minute or sentence. That is because I want to know whether you are understanding or not. And then why you organize a free webinar when you are not having any profit? Why you are wasting your valuable time and energy? Because nowadays this was a good question, but as I know my knowledge, I wanted to spread it out, so I'm organizing this webinar. Then the next question are I need biology and drug designing to be expert in bioinformatics? Sorry, I did not get your question. Are I need biology and drug designing to be expert? If you are going to study about bioinformatics, you will automatically get expert in bioinformatics. Sorry, in expert in all this drug designing and all things. What is the difference between PSI blast and PHI blast? I will answer you this thing in a short span of time. PSI blast is a functionally related, and PHI sees whether the scoring is correct or not. In both the way, we are going to see the sequence itself. We are going to check the sequence scoring, but here we are going to check the functionality, and the other we are going to check the scoring matrices. And the compliment in your personal chat of your WhatsApp. Okay. How about job opportunities in India once completed? There are very good job opportunities. You can do you can be recruited in IT companies, or you can design you can go into pharmaceutical companies like a pharmacist, where you can design your own drug, check it, and then you can expertise, make patent, and earn it. As biotechnologist learn. Biotech for bioinformatics you require C, C++, Java and Python. But if you are hurry in learning all this, you have to take up Python and Perl as an important subjects of database are used in bioinformatics. All the nucleotide and protein databases are used in bioinformatics because we are going to deal with them and we are going to sequence the genome. No particular database is used as a bioinformatics. We are going to look after each and every database. How many motifs and domain differ from each other? This is very hectic question, I think, because for every protein we have motifs and domains. If you are sequencing any one particular protein, you'll get a plenty of motifs and domains. Motifs is nothing but a ligand which connects to a other end of the protein where the interaction is occurring. Domains actually helps motifs to attachment. I think I have cleared your doubts, Sanjay. And Anushri, all four languages, like which language would be preferable? I'm not. Anushri, will you make me clear? Abhishek, if you wanna learn, then just message me. I can provide you. Programming language. First of all, if you are really going, if you really want to be an bioinformatician, you have to take up Python and Perl as important language. C, C++, Java are actually important, but Python and Perl help you in building databases in bioinformatics. I'm talking. Okay, thank you. Which type of issue or problem related biological data are dealt? Bioinformatics is the emergence of human genome project where the bioinformatics took place, but as your question related to problems related to biological data, here we'll deal with each and every database that is hereditary or genetic. Here no question of using any biological, no doubt of thinking any other option than this. We have to use all the databases as bioinformatics. If you are going I'm just talking randomly, like go and check out the syllabus of bioinformaticians or bioinformatics. You'll get to know what database we are going to deal with. Ma'am, is there any programming knowledge needed to study drug designing and molecular modeling? Docking studies. Yes, the programming language is required to study about drug designing and molecular docking, because Python is like a very important language which I feel to deal with it, because in Python we can assign, design and destroy anything which is related to databases. If we know the database is clear and if we know that this drug is going to stick up with my ligand in this way, then it will be helpful in designing drug. Programming is necessary to become a bioinformatics. Yes, it's necessary to become. It's necessary to know programming. Feedback link does not open. Feedback link is opening. I have just checked it. I think all your doubts are clear with me.